Hello and welcome to this week's webinar. My name's Nathan Batcher and I'll be your host for today. Before I begin, I'm just going to read through this disclaimer. Please feel free to read along as well. Beyond Trader LLC is strictly a research publishing firm. The information we publish is based upon our opinions, plus our quantitative models, statistical and financial data, and independent research. This service is not registered with any financial regulatory agency, such as the SEC or any other organization or governmental body. By using our platform or our services, you acknowledge that we do not provide personalized recommendation or advice. Alternative asset classes are volatile investments and carry significant risk. Please do your own research before making any decisions. Okay, so on today's agenda, we're going to have a change of pace today. On Thursday, I was unable to conduct the webinar, so today we're going to revert back to Thursday's schedule and go back to the normal Sunday educational webinars next week. So today I'm going to be covering Bitcoin and Ethereum exclusively, and I think it's a good time for me to cover the markets, obviously due to what's been going on with the breakout in Bitcoin and the move higher in Ethereum over the last few days. So as always, I'm going to be covering what's going on with the market. Then I'm going to be going through the on-chain analysis and some key points also that I'm looking at. And I'll be going through Bitcoin technically, and I'll be discussing where I think the market is headed via the signal review. So obviously we've got the Jackson Hole meeting out the way, and it was very bullish for crypto. I guess we're now in the aftermath of that. We're going to see if we can pick up some momentum from this next week, and the market can continue to, I guess, for the lack of a better word, maybe ride the wave of what we saw on Friday into next week. And that will probably depend on a few factors, which I'll discuss later on. Also, we saw that JFK Jr., he basically endorsed Trump, and that was positive for Bitcoin because that kind of swings the favor to Trump, because there's some of his followers would now support Trump, or at least that's the theory, and that added the momentum. Also, MTGOX, I guess speculation is out the way, and I guess next week we've got some hype coming in the market now towards lower rates and also Trump. So we definitely have got some decent narrative to attach to. Perhaps narrative's a better word than hype. Also, the ETFs. If we can see a return to the ETFs, strong inflows, then that would be great for Bitcoin. And also, there's an indication that leverage traders, especially retail, are starting to go back into the market. So that could be interesting within itself. And also keep an eye on the economy, stocks, and the dollar index. The economy got some better data this week, which was good for Bitcoin, and also stocks are moving higher and the dollar index is moving lower. So there's kind of the Goldilocks scenario for crypto. Moving straight to it, and the things that I'm looking at, and we can see that Vanguard's starting to look much more positive on a number of time frames. I think we probably need to get to near or above 66,000 before Vanguard starts giving that much needed weekly buy signal. If we have a look at the long-short ratio, again, this is another Goldilocks scenario whereby we've got this red, i.e. the short bias in the market. So we can see a global short squeeze of Bitcoin Binance traders, and that's only going to be good for Bitcoin based on historical data. So when we're in the red, it's probably been a good time for Bitcoin in terms of price moves. So yeah, I would continue to keep an eye on that. Also, we can see that Atlas is moving closer to moving under the 100 level. Once we move underneath the 100 level, it means a pickup in bullish momentum is going to follow. If we have a look at liquidation data, it's very interesting. Maybe we could have picked up some of those liquidations today underneath 64,000. This is an old chart taken this morning. And also underneath there, I guess the next area of interest is around 62,500, 62,800. I hope we don't get as low tomorrow, but as you can see, we're starting to see some leverage longs coming in at the top of the range, and that's generally not a brilliant sign. But I'm not going to say that Bitcoin can't continue much higher, because it obviously can at the moment, because it's got the momentum that I mentioned earlier. If we have a look at extreme liquidations on the map, lots of liquidations above 65,000, extending up to around about 67, and below, I think 58,000 is where the heavy liquidations kick in. So ideally, we can start to move towards 70,000 next week, but more on that later. And we can see that the open interest profile, we can see strong open interest around 62,000. So that would be the ideal long squeeze area next week. If we do push lower, which I sincerely hope we don't, and I guess 61,000 would be kind of a max pain point for a lot of traders, that they'd probably start to get a bit nervous. If we had a look at the COT report this week, it's still encouraging that asset managers are still very long, and we can see professional traders when we get the crossover there above the red line, i.e. When we're crossing above and we're going in the opposite direction to non-professional traders, is normally a very good sign. And Bitcoin's price has normally been quite well correlated to the purple in terms of moving in the same direction. So that's also very encouraging. Sentiment is not too bad. It's currently neutralized, so it's not a bad thing at all, considering how high we've come from Friday. And also, according to sentiment, weighted social sentiment, it's not too bad either. It's kind of tapered off a little bit since the peak of 65,000. And for Ethereum, much the same, starting to elevate a little bit, but nowhere near the ETF euphoria that we've seen. So plenty of scope to move higher there as well. And if we have a look at something that's been dogging Ethereum, and that's the ETF flows, notably Grayscale has been really lagging. So we'd expect to see these large ETF inflows, and they just haven't really come yet on a consistent basis. So hopefully when we get the Grayscale selling out the way, they can start to improve a lot. If we get to on-chain data, we can see a very interesting spike in volume around about the lows of a couple of weeks ago. And again, volume is reasonably high, but that kind of large spike in volume definitely indicates some major low in the market for Bitcoin. And also we can see that by whale data and retail data, it's pretty much exactly as we'd like to see it. We can see finally mid-tier addresses moving higher, shark addresses continue to move higher, and we can see mega whale data are starting to move in an upward direction quite sharply. We can see in the red that retail have been selling. So that's like the perfect combination that we're going to be looking for. The percentage of total profit for me, 88% is still rather high, but historically it's not at all, and it doesn't indicate a market top. Around about, like 95 to 98 is high. So we've definitely got, I would presume another 7% gain in Bitcoin. So I'm assuming that would get us close to maybe 68,000, maybe 69,000, something like that. If we have a look at mean dollar invested age, it's still not going the way we want it. In order to move higher, we really want to be seeing this dropping quite substantially. That's not come yet. So that's kind of a negative. And also we haven't seen the much needed token age spike come yet, although we have seen it for Ethereum. If we have a look at exchange flow balances, surprisingly, we didn't get a big dip or anything like that when we crashed towards 50,000. So that's quite surprising for me. Daily active address divergence. Note the large positive flows coming in around the lows. That hasn't really happened since 2023 on a consistent basis. So we've seen a little bit of negativity, which is probably not good from 59,000, and does speak that we've got some negative divergence extending pretty much down to 59,000. So that's not great, but keep that in mind as a retest level, hopefully in future, maybe after we've tested a lot higher. If we have a look at token age consumed for Ethereum, a massive spike there on the chart. And the last time that we spiked that much, I think Ethereum dived, I'm going to say by nearly, I would say by the magnitude. After we saw that spike, we saw a move down of about $800. So if we consider around about the lows to 3, and then from there maybe about 3,100 to 3,300 would be my target, just based on that spike alone. If we have a look at the supply and profit, 74% is better than Bitcoin. So maybe we can say that, historically we don't get as high as Bitcoin in profit for Ethereum, but still it's good, and it could speak to the fact that Ethereum could play some serious catch up next week, I guess. Some disappointing data in terms of retail holders are still holding on and they're not selling for dear life, but we have seen an emergence of 1,000 to 10,000 ETH holders suddenly spike. So that is a good sign in itself, but we probably need to see these these other large coin holders joining in the party. And the volume, check out the massive volume spike around the lows of a few weeks ago. That was the largest spike in some years. So that could indicate a major market bottom for Ethereum, in my opinion. Getting to the technicals, we can see the crypto total market cap here. That red line would be the first target for me. And then after that, I guess if we were to get above the yellow line, which is something that we haven't been able to do, it would be extremely bullish. So the target is still 3 trillion. And I think that could probably speak to $78,000 Bitcoin and hopefully an exploding altcoin market. If we have a look at Ethereum, it's very much trapped inside this kind of base here. Suspect we're going to move towards the middle of the flag there, and from there that's around 3,300. Get above there, we go towards 3,800. What we need to do is negate these series of lower highs in the market, and that would be very positive for Ethereum. Having a look at Bitcoin, I think overall we're kind of making our way to the top of that flag pattern at the moment, which is what I want to see. And that currently sits in at around 69,000. If we can get above there and consistently hold above there, 90,000 is the next target. And the downside target from there, that bottom trend line comes in at around 55,000. If we did have a very, very bad, I guess, a rejection from the highs of maybe 65,000. If we got a very serious rejection, then 55,000 would be the target. But if not, and I'm assuming we're going to just head higher to that channel, hold above there, and like I say, we got 78,000 and 90,000 are the next big targets. And if we have a look at something quite interesting here, this is a yearly pivot point for Bitcoin. Fair enough, we've got nowhere near the yearly pivot point so far. 38,000 is as close as we've got. And the R3 is very interesting. It's kind of saying that, the top for the year could be 81,000. I very much hope not. But 63,000, R2, keep your eye on that for a support level, formal resistance turns support. And then after that, R3 is indicated. So typically on these yearly pivot points, they're not set in stone, but we don't really go that much higher than them. So maybe that could be the top for 2024. I hope not. And I rather hope that we're going to get near 90,000. And again, if we move back to Ethereum, I just want to underscore the importance of 2,700. Very important technical area that we need to hold above and clear. Maybe some accumulation above there, and then we can move towards 3.3 and hopefully 3.8. And in here, like I say, how important it is that we stabilize above 2,700 so that we can go towards the middle of the flag and then hopefully, start to move towards the top of the flag. But this really highlights the very precarious position that Ethereum has been in and how it needs to stabilize around current levels in order to attack towards 3,300. Overall, with the signals, I'm still maintaining the medium and long-term signals that I've had for a long time, with my long-term price target for Bitcoin of 90,000, and also for Chainlink of around $30 US, Ripple 1 cent. I'll be looking at and around about 250 for Solana. If you have any questions, please do let me know. If not, you can reach me on Discord or via email. I'm expecting it to be a busy couple of weeks as the market picks up. So do check out our Discord channel as things start to get on, and we'll be posting some interesting analysis there. Thank you very much, and I will see you again next week.